Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Canadian Football Central. CFL content for the fans, by the fans. And we have a bit of an interesting video coming up, talking about some of the new Indigenous merchandising that the CFL has dropped. However, before we get into that, we cover this, we had mentioned this in our preview earlier today, but for no one who checked out our preview, and if you haven't heard that, tragically, Edmonton Elks owner Larry Thompson has passed away. He had passed away earlier today as of the time that we're recording this. And he had purchased the Elks not even that long ago. I don't even know if it's been a year.
Last year.
It was last year.
Before.
And he really, really wanted to turn it around for the club. And he had certainly put the effort in. And I think he had a lot of plans moving forward. And unfortunately, his time was cut short. And so due to complications that he had after getting a surgery. So rest in peace to Larry Thompson. Thoughts and prayers with his family. And hopefully the Edmonton Elks can get back to where they once were, because I think that was where he wanted to get that team going. And I think the best way to honor him would be to fulfill his dream that he had gotten going. And so hopefully they can get the ball rolling. So thoughts and prayers with the family. But anyways, we have a bit to talk about here, as the CFL, in my opinion, in prior years, they have all these beautiful Indigenous logos of each of the teams, and they've done a little bit of marketing with them. You could buy the practice orange jerseys, which is good. They have a couple hats and this and that, not very much, but the CFL now, in conjunction with New Era, is bringing a whole bunch of stuff coming out. So now I will say it is a little inconsistent from team to team, as some teams like Winnipeg and Calgary and Edmonton, Saskatchewan have jerseys with them. It looks like pretty much all the teams in the West have jerseys along with them, alongside just the Toronto Argonauts. I don't see a jersey here for the Ticats, Red Blacks, or Alouettes, but maybe that changes at some point. And I see some hoodies and whatnot. And so the league is really starting to market this and monetize this, because this is something great. And the league, for the first $30,000 in sales, they will match that in donations that they will be making to Indigenous communities to help them out. So good thing on behalf of the league. They're able to make some money, but also help out some people in need. And one thing, firstly, I actually want to point out before we even look at it team by team, we're going to go west to east, is if you go on the CFL website, you are going to notice advertisements for this. That's right. The CFL has actually gotten a bit more active on their website, and there are advertisements for a number of other businesses, but also they're advertising these brand new Truth and Reconciliation merchandise that they're selling in their shop. And honestly, I'm pleased with this. Again, in my opinion, the league is needed for a while to do more for all this sort of stuff. And they have a website that has had some problems with it, so kudos to them for that. But firstly, Rick, do you have it pulled up on your end, so that way we can kind of go through this together? That? Just yes. the post, yeah. So we're gonna start going from west to east. So we're gonna flash this up on the screen here, as we're starting with the BC Lions. And Rick, firstly, I gotta ask, what do you think of the jersey? Firstly, because noticeably with these jerseys, there are no numbers. There's just a logo. So keep that in mind, that this is, of course, not a jersey they'd ever wear on the field for that reason. And although it's maybe possible that they put numbers on these, I find it unlikely, because they put the Indigenous logo front and center on the jersey. I find it unlikely that they put numbers over top of it.
I don't know if you remember, but last year they went, what they do is, for the Indigenous jerseys, the warm-up jerseys, they auction them off.
Yep. No, they still do.
After the game. So at least those ones have the players' names on them.
Yeah. None of these will, because, again, these are more fashion jerseys. These, and, again, because of the front logo is sublimated on there, This would
And
not be one.
honestly,
And I will say, firstly, credit to the league. These jerseys are affordable. These jerseys are $99.99 plus tax. Which, of course, this is not like one of the really, really nice new era jerseys with the ads, with the numbers and names and whatnot. Although I think you might be able to get a name bar in these, even if you can't get the numbers. I like the fact that there is an affordable option for $100 that you can grab these. I will say I think the Lions one looks particularly good, and this is just because with the Truth and Reconciliation stuff, the color orange, the orange shirt day stuff, it just naturally fits with the Lions branding already, with them really kind of strongly using the color orange. I'm quite a fan of this one, to be honest, and I think it looks relatively good. I'm a fan of the hat as well as the shirt that goes with it. What do you think?
not too shabby.
Not too shabby. Which will lead us
It's
to...
funny. It's funny because like some teams will have the T-shirt and the hat. Some teams will have the T-shirt, the jersey, the hat. Some will have the T-shirt, hat, toque.
Yeah, they're kind of
all have the same.
they're kind of all over the place. But oh, we lost Rick. We must get Rick back. This occasionally happens. Occasionally we lose our friend here. So hopefully we have him back soon. Rick, are you there?
Back.
Rick did his wonderful disappearing act, which, speaking of which, we will get to our next one, which is the Calgary Stampeders. And I think the Stampeders one is either the nicest or maybe the second best one here. As I think a lot of us are I know I am. I'm a fan of even this Calgary jersey I got up on my wall here with the black. I personally prefer Calgary with the black, white, and the red all mixed together, as opposed to just the white and red. And I think this logo looks really sharp here. I think it looks really, really nice. I like the how they got the red hoodie that goes with it, along with obviously the orange shirt that needs to be there, and the hat as obviously noticeably from different from the Lions is that they're getting a hoodie as well for the Stampeders. So, all in all, thoughts on this one, Rick?
This is probably in my top 3.
Yeah, no, I think it is for me too. I would agree with that. So, shall we get to the next one?
We shall.
If we're covering Calgary, of course, we got to immediately go over to the Edmonton Elks. Now, the Edmonton Elks, this jersey I'm iffy about. And not because of the... and it's simply just because, obviously, you can tell that these jerseys, they have the sublimated material on the front, as well as the arms. And then it looks like they've pretty much just kind of stitched it together. With the sides and whatnot with separate materials. And with Edmonton's secondary color being yellow, if you took off the logos on this jersey, it kind of screams Subway. And that's my only problem with it.
So,
is that if you replace the logo with the Subway S, I wouldn't question it. However, I do love the Edmonton Elks Indigenous logo itself. And I will say, I think the hoodie as well as both the orange shirt, obviously, and especially the toque look really, really sharp. I really like the other pieces of branding. The hat's pretty nice too. But in general, I think the logo looks best not on a white background, but on a green, which is why I like the hoodie and the toque so much. The jersey's okay. It's just a little bit too much Subway for me.
So if they took the way that they have the logo on the hoodie,
yeah,
and put that on the jersey, then I'd like the jersey.
Yeah, it's just I noticed this even with BC's. If we just quickly cycle back to that, I'm just going to show that on the screen. Mm-hmm. You notice that the front logo is just two-tone. Like, for example, with BC, it's black and orange, but then on the arms, it's the full decorated logo, all the colors. Edmonton does the same thing here, where it's green and yellow on the front, but then on the arms, it's the fully decorated one. So it appears that's just kind of... the theme that
with
they
the
went with.
white, it makes it stand out more.
No, that's fair. I agree with that. And so, all in all, Edmonton's fit is not too bad. Which then brings us over to the Saskatchewan Roughriders. And I'm not going to lie, I think as much as I'm obviously not a fan of the Saskatchewan Roughriders as a Blue Barn fan, from a design standpoint, I think this jersey is one of the best ones here. I think this jersey is beautiful. I think the fact that instead of going with white for the secondary color or black, and the fact that they went with that kind of darker tone of green that you see a little bit on their alternate jersey, I think it looks really, really sharp. Obviously, the Indigenous version of the logo looks pretty good on, Rider green hoodie, green and green toque is nothing new here. Again, everybody, if you know anything about Saskatchewan, they'll smack that logo on just about anything and sell it, and they sure do. They got the hat, which looks pretty standard for them, as well as the beautiful orange shirt to go with it. At the end of the day, I think this one's aided by the fact that that the artwork for this logo looks very, very nice.
Call me crazy.
Yeah.
If you took the colors from the Indigenous Rough Rider jersey and use those colors as the main jersey, how much better that would look.
I think it would look pretty sweet. I'm not going to lie. And they don't even need to necessarily do that as their home and away. I would just be curious to see how that would work as a even a third jersey in future years, as they have kind of their really, really dark, almost military green that they have now for their third jerseys. I'd be curious if they ever try to do kind of a hybrid between their current green and that darker green, as we kind of see here on the Indigenous jersey. But all in all, would you agree that this is probably one of the better ones?
I do.
And so, yeah. Shall we get to Winnipeg?
Sure.
Now, you'll notice instantly with Winnipeg's is that they don't have a clear photo of the jersey, even if there is a jersey. So, Rick, I'm actually just on Snapchat here. I'm going to send you the other photo. I took a photo off their website that will also show on the screen here, just so that way you can get a clearer view. But we'll take a look at this first. So, obviously, you can see that there's the toque there. That looks pretty sweet. You can see kind of a little bit of the orange shirt that looks pretty good. The hat's pretty standard for Winnipeg. Looks very good. However, if we look at the jersey here, and this is just from the website, they went with kind of and as it's said here, they went with kind of that blanket look, the New Era star blanket. And so this is kind of the star design that you see in the Bombers Indigenous logo itself. And they kind of just replicated that through the rest of the jersey. It is a lot of gold for me personally in this jersey, but overall I think it's probably middle of the pack. Would you say?
See with me, again, this goes back to some of the other stuff. And I'm not trying to be rude or anything. It's just I rather that logo on the jersey I don't like, and I'd rather have like the logo that they have on the hat on the front of the jersey.
Like instead of just the design, you mean?
Yeah,
that's fair. Kind of in the way you mean, kind of like even like poking out the side, kind of the way that Calgary did. And like
or
Edmonton.
like BC did, or
kind of having like the logo poking out. No, that's fair. Yeah, no, I think it would be interesting to see how that would have.
That's just too much for me.
Yep, that's fair. And so that's kind of what we got. It just
looks like a round circle with like different colors.
Yeah, which should be fair. That is kind of what it is. It's kind of a bit of a blanket design. But that brings us over to the Ticats, which will be the first team that we're looking here that sadly doesn't have a jersey. Now, hopefully this changes.
I even went on their website and I didn't see anything.
Hopefully this changes in the future, and that maybe it's just not ready yet, and they wanted to kind of release these a little bit in advance of National Truth and Reconciliation Day. But I hope that changes, because firstly, I think the Ticats Indigenous logo looks very, very good. And if you look at the toque as well as the hat, looks pretty sharp, and obviously the orange shirt to go with it, looking pretty sweet. What do you think of these, Rick?
Yeah, I just think like the logo on the hats with trying to zoom into it. I think with the gray on the like face really makes it stand out. Where if like you look on it on a regular hat, you get white.
Yeah, like you're saying, if it was a gray
Like
background
on
behind the
my hat
logo.
here, you could see like the white for the face.
Yeah, I
Whereas
think if they
this one,
if I
it's
think if they
gray and it
went all
stands out.
black, if they went all black for the hat, it would have looked pretty sweet because then you would have had the white
So you mean
outline of the
like the
logo.
toque?
Yeah, yeah,
You
kind of
mean
like
like the
that.
toque?
Yeah, I think it would have a bit more pop. I agree with that. But all in all, pretty solid, which will bring us over to the Toronto
Toronto.
Argonauts. And in my opinion, this is one of the nicer. Jerseys as well. As firstly, Toronto Argonauts, the double blue, they very much lean into that with this jersey. And I really love how they take just a portion of that Argo logo for the front and just kind of accentuate it a little bit. Very similar to Saskatchewan in that regard, where Saskatchewan just kind of takes the bison and has that kind of front and center. Even though bison is arguably more of a Manitoba symbol than it is a Saskatchewan one, they have it in their logo, so they're using it there. And so, with Toronto here, I really love what they got going on with this jersey. And I think this is a great instance of that logo working very well on the hat. Although I do think they could have went with the darker blue instead of the white if they wanted to. Again, just for that white outline on the logo to pop out a little more. And obviously, Toronto Argonauts, they're the franchise of the double blue. So it certainly would make sense. But I think the orange shirt that they got here looks pretty stellar. And all in all, pretty great design for all this. What do you think?
Um, I mean, there's. I'm just trying to see. I was looking at another team. You kind of caught me off guard because I was trying to see if the next team that we have, if they had any jerseys.
No, this is the last jersey for these teams, Rick.
Oh,
Ottawa and Montreal do not have any.
oh, that sucks.
That does
I
suck.
don't.
I agree.
You know, like when it comes to Toronto jerseys, like I find like their white and their baby blue stands out more than the navy blue and the baby blue.
Yeah.
But that's just me. I don't have anything wrong with the jersey.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Which will bring us to the Ottawa Red Blacks. And Ottawa, poor Ottawa. They, both them and the Alouettes have the absolute fewest here with just a shirt and hat. Unfortunately, not even a hoodie to go with it. I hope this changes. I hope that they get more. Again, I'm not crazy about the white background on this hat. I think if they went with red or with black, it would have looked a little better, a little more pop from that logo. Really, really like the orange shirt that they got with it. But I think that there was a little bit of a missed opportunity there. So.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just. Any thoughts you have?
Not on this one, but on the next one, um, the Montreal one. That one I really like, and I was hoping to see if like they had it in jerseys, but they don't.
Yeah.
Because I really like that logo.
Yeah. Now, firstly, I have to know. I have to mention. Does it say Montreal? Is that in Cree, or?
What's that?
Because notice how it doesn't say Montreal Alouettes in the logo. You see Alouettes,
Um, Give
but
me one
Montreal, I
second
think, is
here.
that Cree? I want to say. It must be some indigenous language, that I'm just not familiar with.
So that is how do I don't want to pronounce this wrong, but it is so that is Montreal in the indigenous language.
Yeah, because it said the Montreal Alouettes Indigenous team logo incorporates the There's a really complicated name, but it said that the simple way of saying it is Mohawk. They're like that's like the Mohawk language,
Yeah.
in the form of the word. Oh, is it Tehotki? I think I'm probably butchering that. Extreme apologies for that, but I can't pronounce it very well. This term is placed on the back of the helmet alongside with the team's name as a nod to the indigenous peoples who are the custodians of the land. Yeah, no. I will say, firstly, I love that. That's a lovely touch for the Alouettes. They have text on their logo. It makes perfect sense to make that change. I love that that the logo itself has the design. Rick, do you know what a dream catcher is? Have you ever seen those?
I was gonna mention that, but I didn't want to feel insulting. But that's one of the things I like.
Yeah, no, well, I don't think it's insulting at all. Because dream catchers are an absolutely beautiful thing, and so I love that kind of an aesthetic that they go with it. With the feathers kind of coming down from the bottom. So I think the Alouettes probably have one of the best Indigenous logos. It's just an absolute shame we don't get to see this on a jersey. As I would love to see this on a jersey. I think there's so much that they'd be able to do, primarily with the dark blue as well as with the red. Obviously, the Alouettes the other year had those red third jerseys that I actually was a big fan of. And so they could have potentially done something here. But I hope the Alouettes get some more merch relating to this, as it looks pretty sweet. As I think every team in the league should get a jersey as well as a hoodie and a toque as well, in addition to obviously having the orange shirt and the hat. So looks pretty sweet to me, if you ask me.
So I was actually looking something up. I should have said this in the preview, but I'm actually gonna say it now. So shout out goes to the Elks, because I'm gonna show you this on my phone. Oops.
Yeah.
Look at their tickets that they have sold. Well, I'm gonna hold on.
I can't.
Yeah, hold on.
Yeah, I can see that there's like, is it just they've sold a lot of tickets? Is that what you're telling me, or is there?
Give me one. What the heck? Check your snap. Like, that's a lot of tickets.
Yeah.
Sold.
That is.
That's why I'm like, gotta give the Elk fans props for that.
Fair enough. But all in all, Rick, before we close this out, which is your favorite jersey? What's the best one?
You're gonna put me on the spot. How dare you? You're an ass.
Because I'm gonna give my answer, and I think it's the Calgary Stampeders.
So
I think Calgary is the best one.
If they had a jersey, I would get it, but they don't. Mine is the Montreal.
Is because of the logo?
Yes.
What's your favorite of the What's your favorite of the jerseys?
Oh, of the jerseys?
So that would be BC, Calgary, Edmonton, Saskatchewan, Winnipeg, and Toronto.
To go separate than you, my second favorite would be BC.
And is your favorite Calgary as well?
I'm more of a red person, so I would go to Calgary. But if I had to pick anyone other than Calgary, that would be BC.
But it seems like we both agree that Calgary probably takes the cake here.
But if Montreal had a jersey, then
it might be the Alouettes then in that case.
Yeah.
No, that's fair though. All in all, pretty sweet stuff here for the CFL, and I hope to maybe purchase one myself, and you guys should too, as it looks like some pretty good stuff. And yeah, let us know what you guys think of these in the comment section down below. Maybe even do your rankings of the jerseys, of the logos, whatever it is, in the comment section down below. I'll make sure to read it and check it out. Leave a like if you haven't already. Subscribe, as it helps out the channel a ton. And yeah, peace, love, and positivity, all you wonderful people at home. We will see you guys next time.